Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Stay 1981. And today I'm going to touch base on a couple of things I got going on with a couple of my firearms. So I went ahead and sent out my Echelon to do what I'm going to do with my Hellcat-Pro. Now if you guys have followed my channel, I got a Hellcat-Pro that's all fixed up and everything. But the one thing I haven't done to it, well, I'll just talk about what I have done to it. I have a Hellcat-Pro, and today I'm talking about some stuff I've got going on with my Hellcat-Pro that I'm adding to it, and a couple of things that I've got going on with the Echelon. So, which is my bigger one. All right, so this is my Hellcat-Pro, and I just recently added this on here, so that's going to be my threaded barrel. If you notice, I've got it ported, and that's a Jeff Floyd port job, but I got it blocked off right now with my threaded barrel on there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my threaded barrel off, but to walk you through what I've got on this, as of right now, I got the Holosun EPS carry C&H plate. It has a Type 3 trigger from Apex. It has a titanium firing pin assembly from MCARBO. It has a, well, of course, the sear spring was added with that, with the trigger I've done and dealt with. It has DPM springs in it from DPM. All things to mitigate and manage the recoil on it. So what I have up to this point, like I said, I've added this to it, which is going to be the threaded barrel. I'm going to take my threaded barrel protector off. So what I'm doing right here is I'm just unscrewing this. And I guess I'm kind of jumping in it kind of quick because what I want to do is I want to show it with this on here. Okay. Now this isn't no news. This is something that's been done already with a lot of other people's guns. So it's nothing like major here that I'm doing. This has already been done by a lot of other people already. So this is like nothing. This is like nothing new. Just gotta bear with me for a minute here. This makes it a little bit better. Gotta hang on with me just a minute. I added that on there. So now I've got the RDP comp. And really all it does, it just mitigates the recoil. It does it in a way, in the same sense of what I currently had with my gun ported. But it's not you're not committed to that. So if you ever wanted to remove this is very simple. You just de-thread it. Now to install this on here, it's pretty simple. You have to get yourself a threaded barrel. You don't have to put any kind of thread lock or nothing because it's already pre-adjusted and it's set screwed from Springfield if you use the RDP threaded compensator. It's self-indexing. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get your threaded barrel on, and you have two options in how you can set it up when you're ready to do this. You can either do one of two things. You can put it on your threaded barrel and then rack the slide back all the way like this and then hold it in its locked rack back position. What a lot of people will do is they'll take their DP, or not the DPM, for mine is a DPM spring, but the recoil spring out, and they will pull out the barrel slightly, and they'll move it forward a couple, about an inch, about a half inch or an inch. And you can do it that way as well. But what you're going to do, and there's other videos that show how to do this, but I personally like to have the switch or the button you have to push to index it, the indexing bar, either up towards the very top or facing myself. Now you can also have it facing away from you if you want, but that's up to you and however you're comfortable. And you're going to make 4 rotating turns once you have it pushed all the way up on the barrel as far as it will go to what they call hitting a wall. You're going to hit the wall of the barrel as far as it will go to where it won't go anymore. Then you have to start threading it on with your thumb or your finger pressing down on the bar underneath, or I like to have it facing towards me, and then I make 4 rotating turns, turning it towards the gun's facing this way. You're going to turn it away from you, and you're going to turn it away from you 4 turns, making 4 whole turns and counting. When you do 4 turns, and you can then you release off the little switch down here, and you just turn it the rest of the way. I think you get like 6 more rotations out of it, or give or take. You're going to turn it till it's tight, and when it can't be tight anymore, it's going to look like it's going to come up on the barrel like that, where you're going to have some gap in it. And what you're going to have to do is then you're going to press the bar button, or the indexing button again, and then what that's going to do is it's going to take the tension or the pressure and tension off of that comp, and then it'll allow you to thread more on there further down in the barrel. Once it gets to a point where you can't get it any further, and you have it to where you can basically hit the latch on your slide release and bring the slide as far up as you can. When you have zero more any room left on it, what you'll do is you'll press the button if you're able to without pressing it, fine. If not, you press the button, you twist it back, quarter turn, and then what you're going to do at this point is then you're going to twist it back towards you one more time, and then it's going to get you to the orientation you want, and then it's going to click in place. There's a notch underneath the barrel where it's indexing that into, and that's essentially what you're trying to get you is perfect timing on the barrel. It's perfectly timed, perfectly adjusted, and you don't have to fool with the set screws and the little Allen set screws and Loctite and all that. And you're not cramming a bunch of set screws into your barrel. It's doing it in the indexing idea, where it's keying into that little notch underneath the barrel. When I take this off, you'll see what I'm talking about, because I got to take this off to store it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to unscrew it. Now, once you unscrew this, it unscrews pretty much the whole way. I had to go through 2 clicks. Now it just undoes everything that I just did. But when you're putting it on, taking it off is one thing. You can just just dethread it till it comes off. But when you're putting it on, there's a little, like I said, 4 turns, tightening it down, holding onto that, and see if you look. There's a little guy in there. I don't know if it's showing on the camera, but there's a little metal tab. So you can see a little something in there. It's a metal little tab. It's in there. There you go. So you can see it off to the side a little bit on my camera, but there you go. You see there's a little like reflective little tab in there. When you press this button down here towards the nose of the comp, it pulls that down and takes the tension off of that little notch, that little notchy tab. Now what that does is, if you look right underneath here, let me see if I can pull this back so you can see it a little better, but if you look underneath my barrel, there you go. See, you can see it right. There's like something underneath my barrel right there. Well, that's a groove. It's a little U-notched groove, and that's what it uses to index itself into the barrel. That's an indexing little notch, and all it really does is it just allows the barrel to notch in with and sink into connect and adhere the comp to anchor it onto the barrel without needing any Loctite or a screw or anything like that. Now there is a set screw on it. I'm going to show that too. There is a set screw that's pre-adjusted from Springfield. It has 2 little holes in the very, very bottom of that. And that is something that you don't mess around with. You don't mess around with any of that. You have to mess around with it. At that point, you need to send it into Springfield and see if they can get you either another one, or they're going to try to fix or repair what you have. Because these do have a little bit of a warranty on them. So whenever you have a question like that, reach out to the manufacturer. Don't go taking Allen keys and opening up that. You don't need to do all that. That's pre-factory set and timed for your gun. So that takes care of that. So what I have is, like I said, I have a threaded barrel, the longer barrel. And that's a 4.6 barrel, by the way, if you guys are interested. That's a 4.6 barrel. Springfield's finally listening to some of their customers, and they're also getting rid of some of their stock with the RDP, because I know some of them do. It's a hot selling gun, but when the Pro came out, the RDP was kind of like, they have all these laying around and no one's doing anything extra with these parts that it have a ton of extra parts for. So they released a longer barrel for the Hellcat-Pro that's not outside of you just buying the gun with it already installed. Now they're making now these offerings where you can get the Hellcat-Pro with the longer barrel that would have came with the tactical version of the Hellcat-Pro if you wanted it. And it just gives you that option. And like I said, the nice thing about that is it allows you to have what I've done with my gun, which was the factory size barrel, ported and slotted. And I'm not gonna drag it out. It's already wrapped. I have it all wrapped up and everything, but it'd be like this not being here. It'd be up against the inside of my slide, and it'd have 3 notches in the inside of that. And you can look at my other videos to see what I'm talking about. And that's the Floyd Custom design. And that was that is the commander port. And that commander port does pretty much the same principle as what I just did right now with the longer barrel and the comp. I don't think it's going to do any better than the Floyd setup on it, but it's another option. It gives us something nice to look at. It's something different. It's a change of how the gun looks a little bit. It's neat. Does it do any better than what I had? Probably not. It's a nice option to offer someone for the gun if they don't want to take the time to do what I've done, which is go full bore, full tilt, and have it already notched out, window cutted, and opened up. Like I said, where all these window cuts and stuff are, I have opened my factory barrel up and have that done. So, but if you don't want to go that route, you have options now. So you can add the longer barrel, you can add the comp to that, and you can also make the purchase. And if you don't have Jeff Floyd do it for you, or someone port your slide and barrel for you, you can buy it factory comped, which is the Pro comp, and then you have options that way, or the Echelon. The Echelon's coming that way too. Now my Echelon is out right now, and it's getting the longer barrel like I have on my Hellcat. It's got a longer barrel. I think it's the 5. I think it's a 5.5 barrel. I think it's a 5.5 or 5.8. Very long barrel. Same principle as this, but I have a Rook Precision. I'll touch base on that on another video. But the Rook Precision's on that when I'm ready to take a look at that down the pike. I already did an unboxing video of it already, but I haven't had the time to do the not an unboxing of it. I already unboxed it, but I didn't have a chance to really go more into depth about it. And now Rook Precision has now made the Hellcat and Hellcat-Pro design, featuring the Springfield design of the size of the slide and everything to match the Hellcat and Hellcat-Pro. I'm thinking about getting one of those. Now, it's not color matched to the gun, to the melanite finish, but it has a similar finish, but it's a little bit darker. It's a little bit off on the color, so it's going to be a little bit darker on the black. It's more like a charcoal black. It's about 1 or 2 shades darker than the melanite finish, but it still looks really good. If you've already done what I've done with my gun and you've already had it DLC'd, or you have any kind of Cerakoting or anything done in a black matted finish, it's probably going to be very close, if not exact, to the color. Because I've already matched my Rook to my my Echelon, and it does look really clean, and it does match. So I'm maybe considering down the road getting the Rook Precision for the Hellcat-Pro as well. The other thing thinking about doing, let's see, I had the longer barrels on both of them now, so I don't have to fool with anything. I was going to maybe get a Harrington Arms or a True Precision or a what was the other, the Parker Mountain Machine comp. I haven't decided yet, but those are all the big name comps, but they're like in the 150, 160 conversation right now. Currently, the Rook Precision looks really, really cool. It is like I think Rook is probably the only company out there that's actually making the factory cut and design of their comps to look just like the factory slide. I know it looks the same on my Echelon. It looks like a factory piece. It looks like something that came right off of Springfield. Um, Again, I'm probably gonna go with the Rook Precision to start off with that. Coming off of the comp that's already now, what I have is the RDP comp from Springfield, and probably getting that down the road. But like I said, the price point for the Rook Precision is nowhere near in the same price category as a Harrington Arms or any of the other brands. Like I said, you have Parker Mountain Machine, you got Harrington Arms, you got True Precision. I've already spelled that one, I think, already. You got I think it's Agent Precision or I think it's Agent Precision or something like that. There's like all these different brands, and every now and again, like Apex Tactical, they got stuff on there for their stuff too. So I mean, all these brands of parts you can do, and it's just like how much you want to spend. And spending that extra money doesn't always necessarily mean you're going to get a better product in the long run. It just means you're paying for that name and the amount of R&D they put into their product. That doesn't mean that you compare one to the other, you're going to get a way better one, spending way less money than the other one. It just means that particular one spent more time, but like I said, they're hit or miss. The only way you're going to know how well they work is if you side by side them in a shooting range, and you take the time to switch them on, put them on, line them up. Best way to do it is have 3 or 4 friends with the same gun, and each one has the different one on there, and you just try it out and see which one feels the best when you're going to the range. But like I said, as far as how I feel about the threaded barrel on my gun is, it's good. It's nice. It's something different. Like I said, I didn't do it because I had to have it. It's just something I wanted to change the look of the gun if I get tired of looking at it the way I had it, which was with the Jeff Floyd's custom port job on it. But I'll tell you what, I'm not knocking it. That port's really good. Does it blow away the port versus the compensator on that I have now? I know that it's more permanent when you do it the way I had it, but now when you start all over with another barrel to block off some of the stuff that's been on there, and I do it as a block off, you're blocking off the windows and all the cuts that he did on the slide, and then you put that comp on there, you're doing the same thing, but for a fraction of the price and for a not permanent design. So the design of that is you can just take the comp back off, put the threaded protector back over it, rethread it, the little thread cap protector back on it, and you're done. That's it. And like I said, in a matter of a few minutes, you can change the whole dynamic of the gun on how it looks and everything by just doing that. I thought it was something neat. It's convertible, so it's a convertible idea. You can convert it from the way you had it to, like I said, then I can go back to my ported factory barrel, which is what Jeff had cut, and yeah, the Floyd's custom is probably not even the same category as that, because I'm sure at the end of the day, I think the Floyd custom setup is going to be the better of the two, and I'll tell you why. It doesn't get as dirty. Comps get dirty. They got to be cleaned a lot more, and at the end of the day, they look neat. Gives a different look to the gun, And they're also, I'll tell you, the number one thing that's a hassle with them, besides taking them off and cleaning them all the time, which that one's not so bad. You don't have to worry about the little set screws and having to re-Loctite it or whatever. But the one thing is when they get dirty all the time, is you got not just taking it off and cleaning it, but now you also have to holster that all the time, and that makes carrying that gun on you and in your holster a royal pain. It's right up there with, it's why you don't see my gun with a pedal on it. I have a pedal I can put on my gun, and I chose not to put it on for a while, and that would change the dynamic of the gun as well. Putting a pedal on there, I have to remove the takedown lever on my Hellcat, and that takedown lever is nice and tight. I heard about guys taking those off of there, and when they go to put them back, they're all loose and everything, and mine's factory tight and factory all nice and tight, and like I said, it feels brand new, and it clicks real nice. You lose all that, and it loses that clicking sound and everything when you take it off. So it's something to think about. My guns, I always say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, but I have a pedal to put on there if I ever wanted to, try that out, but it's not going to fit in my holster. I'll have to redo the holster. The comp's not even fitting in there with my holster I have right now, which is Crucial Concealment. It's in the waistband, Apex carry. It's the only way I carry my guns is Apex, or not Apex, I'm sorry, Appendix. I Appendix carry in the waist, inside the waistband, and that's the only way I carry them, so they don't print as much. But yeah, that's my preference. That's how I carry them. So yeah, so my like I said, the video was kind of a brief one today about, or for right now, about the Hellcat-Pro. My Echelon's going to have the same thing when it comes back. I'm waiting on the coating to come back, because I got it going through coat right now. Once it comes back from coating, the slide will be coated, and I'll have my longer barrel, because I sent the longer threaded barrel to be coated while the slide's being looked at. I got a little ding in it, and not sure how I got into that for whatever reason, but somehow it got a little marred little section in the slide, and I got Jeff sending it out to have it looked at, re-inspected, and having it recoated. So between the two things, it's okay. So I'm just having the time, having him have the time what he needs, or whoever needs to have the time on it, so it can get re-DLC'd. But in the meantime, when it comes back, my Echelon, I'll give a follow-up on that, and I'll have the Rook Precision probably on there, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. And like I said, I would like to probably at some point get the Hellcat-Pro comp, and get that one from Rook as well, because the other Rook Precision one's is the only one I've seen that has all the ones they do. It mimics the actual design of the slide on all the ones they've done. They've done one for the all the Echelons. They have one for every one of those, and they have it for the two Hellcat. You get it for the Hellcat and the Hellcat-Pro. So really, it's the same. It's fitting the same of the slide, and it has the same slide and the pattern and design of it to be exactly, and I mean as close to exact as they can get it. Pretty much capturing Springfield's design of the slide. So it's like a carry-on of the slide. It looks really cool. So I'll probably be getting one of those as well. And I like it because they do make it that darker finish. It does offset the melanite. So if you do buy it, just be ready to let you know it's going to be an off color. It's going to be like a darker shade than what your melanite is. So if you got factory finish on whether you have an Echelon or the Hellcat or Hellcat-Pro, the Rook is going to be darker, and I think that's how most of them are coming. Is they're coming darker too, because they DLC it. They usually DLC or they PVD the coatings on those, and when they do that, and it's not just Rook, it's all of them. They're all coming usually that way. I can't say all of them will come that way, but most of the comps these days are coming in that darker finish. So if you've already got it DLC, then you won't have nothing to worry about. It'll be really close to unnoticeable on the gun. But if you have the natural finish of either the Echelon or the Hellcat, either of them, it's going to be a slightly different color. When you shine it in the light, you'll definitely see it. It's going to be a darker color on the commissary than it will be on the factory finish. So just be mindful of that if you decide to do it. But it's nice because if you don't like it, or you can either opt to have your slides sent out and have someone DLC it if you want to match it to the color of the comp, or you can also keep it on there for some of the time and you can just take it right back off as quickly as you took it on. You can just pop the 2 set screws in this case and then just de-thread it off there. There's no fancy way of putting it on there. You just thread it on there as far as it'll go. You'll get as far as you can on the threads, then you'll just back it down a quarter. I think it's like a quarter turn, and then you set the set screws in it, and you're done. There's no indexing it or detenning it or getting a custom way of how you had to twist it on there like you do with the Springfield one to line it up. But otherwise, yeah, most of them are all easy. You just thread it on there until you can't thread it on anymore. You back it down to get the orientation where you want it, and set up the screws, and you're done. But that's tying set screws into your barrel, so just it's something to be mindful of. But again, I hope you guys like this one. It's just over my Hellcat-Pro. What I've done with it so far. I think I got the barrel container right here. This is what it came in. So it comes in a tube just like my Echelon came in, but this one here has the Pro. See, Hellcat Pro. And you see if I can rotate you around so you can see it a little better. It shows Hellcat on here. It's a U-line container, and it's basically a U-line shipping container tube, and then Springfield puts their logo graphic and wrap on the tube, and it's done. And yeah, so you'll get the barrel, the comp, and you get a thread protector. Yep. Now, I will tell you right now, price point of that is it's not great. The price point right now is decent. It's not as expensive as other options that you could do, which is like go out and have someone custom do what I've done with mine. It's not in that same category by a landslide, but it is an expense. I know the Rook Precision, maybe some of the other companies now are maybe making their prices go up a little bit. I know it went up a little bit on Rook Precisions, but like I said, it's just a decision you have to make, and you like to have a convertible version of the gun, so you can just drop in a barrel, switch it up real fast. There you go. If you don't have a threaded barrel, pick yourself up a threaded barrel. If you already have a threaded barrel, all you got to do at that point is just get an RDP comp. Any site you can get it for. You can go to any site. I know MGW is where I got a lot of the stuff I got hooked up with, and they're pretty decent on the price. If you go through Springfield, it's going to be real expensive unless they have a sale going on. It's real expensive. But if you go through someone else, I know MGW has a really good deal for, I think, one of the cheaper deals I've seen out there. I'm not going to specify the price. You guys can go and look for yourself. But I will say that the comp by itself right now, I think is like $67 just for the comp. But if you bought the comp and the barrel separate, you're going to have way more in it going that direction than just going ahead and spending the money and getting it as a grouped together combination. It's an all-in-one. You get it all knocked out of the way. You get the barrel and the comp, and the thread protector comes with it, which is that little cap that goes at the very end. It looks like something you put over your toothpaste or something, but metal. That's basically all it is. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So I got that one out of the way. If I have time later on today, I might shoot another video. I haven't decided yet. I might do one, if not later on today, tomorrow. So guys, stick around, and hope you like this one. Please rate, comment, subscribe. Got any questions, feel free. Leave them down in the comments. Like I said, this is one on my Hellcat today. So what I've done with it so far, I just happened to get a couple of things going on with it, and it was something quick, simple. I'll touch on it for a minute. So just to recap, you buy one of these and you want to put it on, like I said, get your threaded barrel, take out your other one, you know. So without it having it in my hand, I can just walk you through it real fast. So slide release, pull all the way back, hit the slide release towards the back of the gun, you know, on the side, click it till it locks in your, you know, your slide. And then you want to, at that point, make sure you got the gun cleared if you haven't. So you want to drop your mag, make sure you clear out the spout, make sure there's nothing in the spout, nothing in the gun. It's cleared. It's a cleared weapon at that point. And then you want to move on to the takedown lever, which is on the Hellcat. It's on the front of the gun, towards the front, halfway up. You click it, you rotate it from it being horizontal, flip it up, click the trigger. When you engage the trigger, you'll hit your takedown lever while holding it, and you'll slide it, and then you're going to pull it out, and it's going to come off the rest of the way. You'll be able to separate the lower from the top. Put your lower part of it down, set aside, and then you're going to then decide how you want to do this. Do you want to, when you go to put the barrel on, how do you want to put, you want to put the barrel on and leave it out a little bit for some play, or you can put it the threaded barrel in. So you'd want to take your whatever barrel you have for the threaded one, take down your recoil spring. Want to take that out. Then you're going to be left with being able to take out the barrel that you existingly have that doesn't probably have a threaded barrel in it because you're wanting to put it in. Take out your threaded barrel, take off the cap. If you have the protector already on there, you're gonna have to take it off. Got to clear everything off the barrel. Then you're gonna go ahead and drop the barrel in, set it in it's called seat it back into its position, and then you can put your recoil spring pack back in there. And then once you have that it's all locking the barrel back into place, then you can then put the slide back on the gun if you wish, and then just lock it all the way back and keep it locked. Take down your takedown lever, and then you can just leave it that way. Or your other option is you can do it in your hand and have it to where you could separate the slide from the lower, and you can do it where you could have the slide in your hand, having the barrel stick out a little bit. Your preference is up to you, but you got to take the recoil spring out to do it that way. I like it on the gun already, all kicked back and holding, and then keeping it all slid back, racked back, and locked, racked back, and then I put my comp on that way. That's how I do it. So that's your choice. Then you have to decide how you want the orientation of it to be, so you can count the turns. So I like to put the little locking lever latch facing towards me or straight up. Doesn't matter. I like to be able to look at what I'm doing. So push it as far away until you hit the wall of the barrel. Push it all the way in as far as it'll go. And then, like I said, you're going to then rotate the compensator 4 turns. You're going to rotate it 4 turns away, going away. It's moving away from yourself. So it'd be like this, going this way, going this way. So you're going to rotate it away from you every time. That's clockwise on the gun. You're going to go 4 clockwise turns, counting each one. When you get to the 4th one, while you're holding that little button down, that little detent indexing button, you're going to hold it, and you're going to keep turning it and turning it and turning it until you hit 4 full rotations. When you hit the 4th rotation, you can release it and then twist it the rest of the way onto the slide, towards the slide on the barrel. Once you get to where it won't go any further, and you run out of where it won't work anymore, and you have this play in it, if you hit the slide release and you slide your slide back down and you got that gap, you'll have to press that lever, and then you have to thread it further more onto the barrel. And once you get it to where it won't go any further and you've reached all the room, you'll hit the button to release the tension on it, because it won't let you do it the other way. You'll just hit the button and you'll turn it away. You're going to turn it to loosen it. You're going to loosen up the comp. You're going to loosen it a 1/4 turn. And then what you're going to do is then you're going to go ahead, and then you can then release the slide if you want, or wait until you're done. You're going to twist it back, not pressing anything this time, and you're going to wait until it clicks. And when it clicks, you should be in the same orientation. The opening of the top should be at the very top. The rest of it should be all orientated at that point. Then you can then slide your slide, take down switch or take down lever, press it while holding your slide, putting it all the way into the seated position. And you're going to rack it a few times and make sure that you have full movement and it's not hitting anything, which it shouldn't. It's factory timed, so that's how you put it on. Taking it off is even easier than putting it on. Those are the orientation ways of putting it on. Now taking it off, you just press the detent button and it just untwist. It'll take about, you'll hear 2 or 3 clicks if you let loose of it because it's still catching on that bottom tab. You just keep turning, and eventually you'll get it freed up, and then you just turn it all the way without holding anything, and then eventually you'll come right off the barrel. That's it. So that's how you put it on. There's videos of it if you like to see other videos of people putting it on. It's not that hard. Like I said, just remember it's the 4 turns. You got to get the 4 turns, pushing it on there all the way, hitting that wall, and then, like I said, it's pretty much that. It's as simple as that. I thought it was a little harder to put on than that until I watched a video of it, and that's pretty much how I described it, and showing it to you on my gun is how you put it on. That's it. Any questions, leave them in the comments. See ya.